Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This gonna be Sorority Sisters, Season 1, Episode 3. Alright, they still around, guys. I don't know what to say, but these hoes are still here, okay? So we started right on out. You know, we're gonna do the damn thing real quick. We're gonna throw this down real quick before we get canceled, Annie. Hey, start off with Priyanka and Lydia. Child, they're talking about Priyanka wants to start this Bigfoot. I guess that should be the name of it. Bigfoot, motherfucker. Bigfoot is a shoe line for the wildebeest. So it's, you know, size 10s and ups, which is cool. You know, there are Bigfoot girls out there, but goddamn Priyanka is a goddamn Amazon. She just is ridiculous. Too much hair, too much eyelashes, too much feet, too much everything. That bitch is a wildebeest. But anyway, she's sitting around talking about that. No real big deal. Okay, girl, you've been talking about that for a couple weeks. I was like, is she going to make some moves? What's she going to do? You know what I mean? Anyway, moving on. Kat is actually scared to tell Derek Blanks that she wants to go off on her own and have her own photography company. Okay, cool. Kat has the most decent storyline of everybody else. She doesn't really do anything to really harm anybody or, you know, her image or anything. She's just pretty cool. You know, I haven't seen her be out of order. So, whatever. You know, she did eventually end up telling Derek, and she cried and everything, and me and my mother were back and forth at it with that because I said, well, I thought that was very genuine. I really do think that was a genuine, heartfelt thing. She was literally nervous to tell him that she was ready to move on. And that happens. You know what I mean? She's been with him so long, and he took a shot on her and trained her. And that just goes to show who he is. I've seen Derek Blanks in several different reality shows, and he comes across the same way on all of them. So I'm going to go ahead and say that's actually him. He seems to be a very nice gentleman. You know, he was really good with it, told her he had her back and everything like that. She cried, and I thought that it was very heartfelt. I didn't think anything was set up. My mother didn't agree. My mother was like, I don't know. I don't really care for that bitch. You know, again, I told you I have a duality, and then when you add my mother to it, then it's like a triply, you know, she different. But anyway, we kept watching. So, but I like Kat. I thought she was all right. Then we go on. There was Adrine and April met up, and you know it's always like oil and water. They were supposed to be trying to bury the hatchet and all of that. It didn't go anywhere. As soon as they sat down, these bitches started. They literally just started as soon as they sat down. And when Adrine came in, April says, "Oh, you look cute today, April." Adrine, she says, "Honey, I look cute every day. This is nothing different. I look like this every day." And they just started. And she got to call in, April got to call in Adrine bipolar and this, that, and the other. And she said, "Girl, you know, I ain't coming for this. I came to bury the hatchet. This seems like this is not what's really going to go on. So I'm not going to waste my time with you." I said, again, now this time you got her in a different setting. It's just that April's an asshole. April is an asshole, and she's not very quick on her feet. And she just needs to leave Adrine the fuck alone. She can't take her. You can't fuck with Adrine. Adrine is that bitch when it comes to making you feel inadequate. And that's because the fact is you are inadequate. You know, just leave her alone. Leave it alone. I'm tired of her tearing your ass up. She eats your ass up without no salt, no pepper, bitch. And you keep coming back for more. Just dizzy. She going all out the door hollering, you know, just all out of pocket. You're a $2 whore. You're a drag queen. You're this. That girl ain't never raised her voice. She was like, "All right, honey, have a great day. Thanks. All right. Yeah, I'm pretty good at that. Yeah, okay. Bye, boo." Made her look like an absolute ass jack. I said, "Lord, girl, ain't no help for you. Just let it go." That's the advice I have for you, April. Fucking leave Adrine alone, girl. You can't win. You can't. We've seen it time and time. Every time this shit has been on, them two get into it. She can sometimes get into it 2 times a episode. You can't fuck with her. I said, Lord have mercy. Can't take her. So I'm laughing. I said, that's a mess. There was a table made that I noticed that came up, you know, while they were in the midst of it. and she was trying to serve them their drink. She's a pretty black girl. She really was. She's cute. But she was looking at them too like, look at these two simple motherfuckers here. And she got her little camera time. She's just standing on the side with her little tray, and she's looking back and forth like, your turn, bitch. Oh, girl, she got you that time. Your turn, oh. I said, Lord of mercy, she's a pretty little thing. I just got a real kick out of that. But anyway, she sent her ass running, as usual. The next thing we saw Shayna, Adrine, and Matoya. Now, let me tell y'all what my thing is with Matoya. Matoya is a sideline hater, and I thought that because I don't really care for her. And I was trying to give her a chance. The thing is, she never really liked Adrine from the beginning. If y'all remember that, she don't really like Adrine, but she, stays booted up with Adrine, and they're like making this little friendship. But Matoya's jealous of Adrine. You can see it. You can see it. It's always a thing of questioning her. Okay, y'all got to arguing, but did you play a part in it? Like she's, coaching her or trying to psychoanalyze her. I have a person in my life, was in my life, that tried to do that to me. I don't like no shit like that. It's really, it's a lot of passive aggression that's coming out with them. And with them two, there's jealousy there. Matoya ain't got a motherfucking thing going on, and she's jealous of Adrine, but she stays, keep your enemy close. Kind of bullshit. So I've seen that. I don't really care for that sneak attack bullshit and playing a devil's advocate and shit. And fuck her. Anyway, moving on. Veronica was next thing. You see Veronica and her sister Grace. Ugly. I don't know. She's just ugly to me. I looked at that girl and they picking out wedding dresses. I want some motherfucker to do Veronica's hair. That weave is horrible. That weave is horrible. Horrible, horrible, horrible. And again, we're all this, you're all that. That's horrible. Thick. Horrible. Girl, fly me on into Atlanta, girl. I'll hook you up. Because that's just a mess. You ain't got to be walking around with your head looking like that. That motherfucker looked like a helmet. A helmet with a shag. I didn't care for her hair. Her hair is a mess. Too thick. But anyway, her and her sister was talking about some of the shit that's been going on. And I just kept looking at her sister. Her sister has a real square jawline. Very manly. And then, I don't know, and then she doesn't open her mouth all the shit. Oh, it was irritating me, and I think I'm being mean right now. So give me a moment. I'm being mean, and y'all go ahead and comment on it, and y'all gonna tell me what it is and that I'm being mean. But I'm cool with it, because I know I'm being mean. But that bitch just looked like she got Bell's palsy in the mouth or something, and it just wasn't cool. It really irritated me, and I know that's mean, but I ain't taking it back. Anyway, moving on. And the dress that she picked out was fucking ugly. Moving on. All right, I'll be nice again. Adrine and Priyanka. Priyanka comes down to Adrine's shop to talk to her about starting this here shoe line. Now, Adrine was shady because the two of them don't really get along anyway. Priyanka, you're basically there trying to use Adrine and thinking Adrine. I done told y'all can't fuck with Adrine. Adrine clocks it, bitch, you don't even like me, bitch, but you want my help. So she comes in there. She's wanting to talk to Adrine, with the bullshit. She don't have no prototype. She don't have no sketches. She don't have nothing. Nothing. You just there blowing old blanket idea about some big ass shoes. And so she did. She was a little shady with it. But she told her here, you sit here, look at the shop, see if the shop is what you really want, if it is a fit. And then came back, gave her a card, told her, call my business manager and make an appointment. She's like, oh, girl, you're throwing me shade, this, that, the other. She's like, no, I'm showing you how business is really done. There's a protocol for business, and I'm trying to teach you how business goes. Now, the worker is, yes, Adrine is shady, but that wasn't 100% shade. She's fucking trying to show you something, you big, goofy bitch. That is the truth. There's a way that business is done. You don't walk up in no business and talk to the owner with some old grassroots monkey bullshit and ain't got nothing on paper, ain't got nothing worked out or nothing, and just think you're going to talk to them and just start a business. It don't work like that. She's trying to prepare you on how things are actually done so you don't end up being the next April. Now stop being so goddamn goonish and take some damn advice. It was advice, and I think it came from a good place. But of course, it got a little shade on top of it because that's Adrine. That's how she get down. And when it comes to Adrine, Priyanka, and April, you can't win. You can't win. The bitch is flawless at it. She got to have 10 gay people that she got that are friends that are not on camera because she reads just like some old queen. I love it. I love it. Anyway, moving on. Next, we actually see Kat and April have actually gotten together, and they were, talking back and forth about some photography and different things like that. Well, April decides she's what's, and there's the other girl too. I can't think of her name, but she's the decent sister that was actually with April at the one function and told her, no, we are definitely not going to be flipping any tables over, honey. Now you can cut that out. Her. She's telling them about the situation between her and Adrine and just taking and just stretching the truth so far that it's breaking like a rubber band. She'd say, oh yeah, her voice went all up and she was sounding like the Exorcist and just lying. Just lying. It wasn't nothing like that. Bitch, you was the one that was hollering. Girl, go on somewhere and quit playing games. My mother was chiming in on that. She's like, look at that bitch lying. We just laughed. So, anyway, let's see. What else happened? Oh, then they had the luau. So, they got to meet the little fella that Veronica is actually, Jesse, the guy she's engaged to, and all that. And they was like, damn, he's fine. This, that, thing, and the other. So, the hateration was on. Veronica and Jesse had actually discussed it earlier on about why they were doing their cake tasting. That, yeah, she needs to go ahead and talk to Priyanka and they need to squash that little beef they have because they're going to be in the same circles and all that. So first it started off with Veronica and Priyanka. And of course, Priyanka gets all, you know how she does because she's 500 feet tall and her feet's a size 15. And she's sitting there all this trying to like bully Veronica. Veronica's like, just forget it, and Lydia came and got her and everything like that. Just a mess. She's all out of pocket, all loud and everything at the function. And Veronica's like, just forget it. Never mind. Fuck it, So then the next thing you know, Veronica's down there. Here goes Adrine being nosy. She gets up from where she's at because Priyanka's over there talking about fuck her and this, that, thing, and the other and going on and on. Look over Matoya steadily rolling her eyes and carrying on. So Adrine gets up, goes down to where Jesse and Veronica are and says, I'm coming to check on you. Are you okay? This, that, and the other. Yes, I've had problems with her. She sat right over there and she was up on the balcony. She could hear him talking about her. So Priyanka sat there and listened to the whole thing. Well, when Adrine came out of that little circle, she went down and told her, let me take you outside and let's talk. So they go outside and then she starts attacking Adrine. And then you see she can't win with Adrine either. She's all loud with it. And Adrine's like, girl, I don't get into all this loud talking. And I don't really care about what you're talking about. And you don't scare me. And when you're ready to talk like a real lady, then we'll talk. Okay, honey. Okay, sweetheart. All right. You want to keep talking loud? Okay, honey. Well, yeah. I'm not going to do all this yelling with you, honey. I'm going to go ahead and go. Now, that would drive me crazy. If I was in my feelings and I'm screaming and hollering and this bitch keeps giving me, well, okay, honey. Well, all right, honey. I would knock her fucking socks off. Do you hear me? And that's where Priyanka is. You can't win. She's so good at that shit. You can't win. And then she's not scared. That's the other part. She's not scared. This big motherfucking bruiser is this close in her face. And she's still giving her, well, that's all right, honey. Because, no, honey, I'm not afraid of you, honey. That's fine. Whatever, honey. I said, oh, this bitch. I love it. She wears them out. Me and my mother sat there and kikied and laughed. My mother said, oh, I would kill that bitch. She said, but I love that. I said, it's fabulous. There is a definite skill to doing that. And a bitch that's not scared can actually carry it on because she wasn't scared at all. She might have been, but it didn't show. She didn't give a fuck. She didn't back up. She didn't do none of that. Then she went, they pulled her away. She goes over to her to finish it up. and says, just remember, darling, whenever you're ready to put your big girl pants on, I'll be right there ready to talk to you, okay? All right, honey. All right, darling. You're yelling again, honey. Okay. All right. I said, oh, you bitch. You bitch. So we laughed about that, and that's basically where they were actually ending out. Now, this is something that happened that's funny, okay? I told you, me and my mother was watching, so you know she generally slides something real stupid in there. We're sitting there. They're going to commercial. Now, remember, my mother doesn't really watch this program, so she didn't know that Priyanka was actually a stripper. And I've said that before because she says, I'm a burlesque dancer. No, bitch, you're a stripper. But anyway, so when they go to cut the commercial, they see her. She's doing all of this yelling and I'm this and I'm that. And she's over there doing her little thing. My mother looked at me and she said, Chef. I said, yes, Mom. Is this bitch a stripper? I said, yeah, Mommy, she's a stripper. My mother got up off of the couch and said, psh, whatever. You talking all this shit, and then, bitch, you drag it all on the floor? Then she looks at me and says, bye, Felicia. I said, you know what, Mom? Get the fuck out of here. I laughed so hard. She was so done with it. She had no more commentary, nothing else to say. She was so done. So what the fuck is that big bitch dragging on the floor for? I said, Lord have mercy. We kikied and laughed at her ass real good. But that's basically where they ended out at. Now, the thing they did, they had this little half-hour piece that they actually did about his dialogue. Tanika Ray, was the host. It was set up like a reunion, and they just gave him a round table and wanted to talk. And basically, they weren't saying anything other than they were upholding their reasons for being on the show. Each of the ladies, and they talked about how the media is and how the sororities want them off the air and all that. It was ugly. It was kind of ugly because it's got this little double sword effect. You've done all these things to be part of these sororities, and now you've done something. And now the sorority has turned on you. That's basically what has happened. They are done. You know, they're done. All of them. As far as that sorority, because sorority, it really looks very overly cliquish at this point. And though I understand because some of what they're doing is really totally against what they claim that they stand for. But then at the same time, the one Priyanka made a good point. She said, you're talking about me doing this thing or that thing that you don't think is the way the sorority goes. She said, I've always been me. Even when I was online, I wore blonde hair and shaved sides. I didn't look like the rest of the sorority girls and all that. Even when I was online, and I still made it in. And she said, and now you all are literally leaving a paper trail on the internet that will never go away, tearing down your other sorors. She has a motherfucking point. She has a point. It looks bad on both sides. It actually does, because instead of like embracing them and saying, okay, this is not a good look, but we're going to embrace you, they literally have been shunned. Like, I can't even imagine any of them actually going to any type of sorority function and not getting this, honey. I can't even imagine it. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. They're making themselves look bad, and the sororities are kind of making themselves look bad. And I think it's just kind of ugly, and it's going to implode. There's going to be no winners with this. I don't think it's going to be any winners. And I don't know, is it really going to get snatched off the air or not? Because, you know, Mona Scott Young is a motherfucking pimp. So y'all better watch out. Y'all dealing with the right person. Because basically, they were up there, like Mona had told them, you bitches go up there and justify the means to your end. Get on up there and you know, keep my money rolling. And they were up there, baby. They were standing their ground. You know they dealing with a motherfucking pimp. Mona Scott Young is the motherfucking Dolomite of the goddamn new millennium. And you could believe that shit. She told them, you might as well ride it out, bitches, because y'all are done anyway. Anyway, I'm just saying. All right, guys, you guys could thumbs up or thumbs down the video. You know what that means. And as long as they keep coming on, we'll keep coming back. I'm not so sure that they're going to get snatched, but we'll keep moving fast to make sure we get our shit in case it does get snatched. All right, guys, later.